Monday and Tuesday, Sadie and Jack got a back-to-back daily double. Tuesday and Wednesday, Jack and Rowan made the game a runaway, and their scores were so close before Final Jeopardy. Let's see how all three battle it out. We're in the last 2 days of the Second Chance tournament. After tomorrow, we'll have the full Tournament of Champions roster. Ken Jennings' instruction was, welcome to the second of our Jeopardy Second Chance finals. Our finalists, Rowan, Jack, and Sadie, are competing for a $35,000 prize as winner of the week. But more importantly, they're also vying for that last coveted spot in the Tournament of Champions that begins Monday. We know who 20 of the players in that tournament will be. The 21st spot is still up for grabs. It's going to be somebody on the stage with me right now. Then he reminded us it's a 2-game total point of error. One of the categories was Radcliffe. Rowan and Jack were going through the bottom of the questions, a method frequently used by super champions including Madame Odio, for example. Even Jackie Kelly used it in her run. Rowan is in a streak of right answers. Rowan got the first daily double, made it a true daily double, got it right, and went to $7,600. I remember I came across the question, what was the highest score before the first commercial break? I laughed because I thought the question was too specific. Well, Rowan undoubtedly has one of the highest scores before the mini anecdotal interviews at $11,200. Ken asked all three about the finals. Sadie got a lot of support from the internet. Well, of course, answering correctly and still being deemed unfinished will do that. Jack's friends trained him when they went to the beach. Rowan's friends were supportive because of how competitive the initial game was against Matt. After losing to the Warriors in the 2015 NBA Finals, in 2016, LeBron and co. beat them to bring this city its first NBA title. Rowan then answered, who are the Cavaliers? Then answered, Cleveland Cavaliers, right after Ken said no. Rowan, I had already ruled no by the time you corrected your answer to Cleveland Cavaliers, so we're not going to give you credit. According to someone who's in the audience, Ken initially accepted Cleveland Cavaliers, then the judges ruled against it seconds later and informed Ken. Sadie entered the first round winning $0. Jack was in second place at $2,400, and Rowan was in lead at $11,800. One of the categories was Oktoberfest, even though Oktoberfest had been over in Germany by the time this episode was released. There was another Radcliffe category. This time it was about Daniel Radcliffe himself. Rowan got the first daily double, risked $8,000, unfortunately answered wrong, and went down to $5,000. For the third time this week, there was a back-to-back daily double. This time it was Rowan who got it, meaning all three got a back-to-back daily double this week. And this was a true daily double. Rowan answered correctly this time and went to $10,000. Rowan is in a streak of right answers. In October 1936, power from this massive project began turning on lights and radios in the western United States. The answer was the Hoover Dam, which was also the answer in the Final Jeopardy round on Madame Odio's 12th game. And I like that it was Rowan who answered what is Hoover Dam. In the 2013 film Kill Your Darlings, I played this poet just starting at Columbia University and meeting Jack Kerouac and William S. Burroughs. The answer was Ginsberg, as in Allen Ginsberg. I like how the question mentioned Jack Kerouac because he was the answer in the Final Jeopardy round on Ryan Long's third game. I played one of the two title characters who were just bit players in this Shakespeare in 150th anniversary West End production of this Tom Stoppard play that's set against the backdrop of Hamlet. The answer was Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, which was the answer to the Final Jeopardy round on Andrew Heath's third game. Another third game. Crazy how they were all repeated in this episode and how it was only between August 2021 and May 2022. Sadie ended Double Jeopardy winning $4,400. Jack was in second place at $6,400, and Rowan was in another runaway lead at $30,000 even. I guess my hopes for Sadie winning are gone. The Final Jeopardy category was American composers. The question was, he turned to opera with the 1903 work Guest of Honor, likely inspired by Booker T. Washington's Dinner at the White House. I know Maple Leaf Rag was composed in 1899, and The Entertainer, also known as the Ice Cream Truck song, was composed in 1902, so my only guess is Scott Joplin. Gershwin, he wasn't until 20 years later. The answer was Scott Joplin. Sadie and Rowan answered correctly. Rowan didn't bet anything, which wouldn't have affected the game. Look at those scores. And now the final night of the Second Chance tournament. Ken Jennings' instruction was, welcome everyone to the last of our first ever Jeopardy Second Chance competition. By the end of the show, we will know who will be joining our incredible field of contestants of the upcoming tournament champions, Rowan, Jack, or Sadie. Now at the moment, Rowan's impressive score could seem hard to beat, but you know, there have been many cases in the history of our Jeopardy 2 total point matches when a player who was at a distant third after the first game came roaring back to win it all in Game 2. We shall see. One of the categories was Picture the Number 1 hit. Can this also be Picture the Song? Jack got the first daily double, made it a true daily double, got it right, and went to $3,600. Rowan ended the first round winning $6,800. Jack was in second place at $4,800, and Sadie was in third place at $2,600. Much closer game today than it was yesterday so far. There have been a few potpourri-related categories recently. Now it's Mythpourri. On the last game of the Second Chance tournament, there was the category Second Chances.
He got both daily doubles.
Jack got the first daily double in Double Jeopardy, wagered $7,000, got it right, and went to $14,600. Strong lead. Rowan got the second daily double in Double Jeopardy, made it a true daily double, got it right, and went to $12,800. In 1429, Charles VII granted nobility, arms, and the dulies to her family. This one is also in my alley, who is Joan of Arc. In 1947, he broke the color barrier and became the first African American to play modern Major League Baseball. The answer was, who is Jackie Robinson? Now, this is just recycled from one of the questions in an infamous game when another contestant answered, who is Babe Ruth? Out of all the questions to be recycled, why specifically this one? Now I expect the plural for moose to be recycled in the next year. Rowan ended Double Jeopardy winning $20,000 even. Sadie was in third place at $5,000, and Jack was in the lead at $29,400. We were reminded of the scores from yesterday's game. I was convinced Rowan would win. Taking a look at the scores now, Jack has a much higher chance if he gets Final Jeopardy correct, and Rowan gets it wrong. Unfortunately, Sadie can't win this. The Final Jeopardy category was artists. Here's a fun fact. The last tournament, the Professor's Tournament, the Final Jeopardy category was also artists. The question was, Sabina Airlines commissioned a painting by this artist, L'Oiseau de Ciel, a bird whose body is filled with clouds in a blue sky. And another French artist. It should have been French artist at the Final Jeopardy category then. All I could think of is Degas, or perhaps Seurat. That rhymes. Nah, what are the chances of the same answer on the final night of a tournament being the same answer as the final night of another tournament? None of the contestants answered correctly. Actually, they all guessed Picasso. No, Sabina was the national carrier of Belgium, and the correct response, Belgian surrealist René Magritte. Well, now I wish René was a finalist so she could have seen her name as the answer. Sadie bet it all and went down to zero. Rowan bet $12,201 and went down to $7,799. Jack also bet it all and went down to zero. I really can't blame him. He had no choice because of Rowan's runaway yesterday. At $37,799, Rowan is the other winner of the Second Chance tournament, and we now have the full roster of the 2022 Tournament of Champions. Now on to the Tournament of Champions.
And as always, thank you for watching.